Welcome back, ladies and Larrys, kings and queens, guys and dolls. Back down here at the Lost Mine site, and just want to continue prospecting. We know there's gold in the bar, right? And we can continue with that. But I brought the power sluice with me today because the last time I was here, we saw these big rocks right in here along with this bedrock area right here. We dug a couple of pockets and we were finding some pretty decent size gold, not a large quantity, but decent size. But I want to continue down in this area. Since we have these large float rock, what I want to do before setting up shop is I want to test pan this with a gold claw. Move some of these rocks out of here, take a couple of test pans with the gold claw, check it out. If there is decent gold here, because we don't have any kind of flow, our biggest flow is way up there, right? We would have to classify material and then bring it up to where the pinch point in the flow is at, but the flow is very weak. So this is again where something like a power sluice comes into play. Some of you guys are going to ask, why don't I just bring the high bank? I would. My only drawback to doing that is it doesn't have the mat I want in it. I do want that V-ridge mat in my high banker. I'm working on a new high banker that's going to utilize that mat, but until then I'm going to use the power sluice. I just have more confidence and I love the V-ridge over Dream Mat when it comes to what I'm doing now. The hand dredge also. But if this looks good, we'll get some buckets out of this material. Let's see. Just give you guys a little peeksy-poo piece of quartz. You see the dark line, water driven. Rusty color, that's good. Iron. Yeah, decent looking material, guys. A lot of quartz, some clay in that, a lot of gravel. I'm going to slowly chew it down. And that decomposing bedrock. Got a few specks up in the top, up in there. Not terrible. Chunkier pieces. For a shovel full, that's not bad. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 specks. That's not terrible, guys. That's not terrible. Well, guys, since we have all these pockets right in here where this bedrock line is at, here's the gravel bar right here. We'll move some of these rocks out of here. We can dig some of these pockets out. I brought the hand dredge with me and we can suck those out. I'll take another test pan about where she's at and maybe one in here somewhere. We pulled dirt out of right there, one shovel, and that looks good. It's all holding gold in there. So if we move these rocks out and we shovel this, classify this whole thing out, we'd be doing pretty good. So the beauty of having the power sluices is I can set it up right here instead of having to truck material where good water flow is at. With a power sluice, a stand, or a high banker and a stand, you can determine your pitch, your flow, all of that, which is a beautiful thing. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get everything set up here. I'm going to take a couple of more test pans right here, but I'm going to move some of these rocks out, do a little bit of scraping, do some more test pans. If I see anything significant, I'll definitely throw it on the video. Move. Bucket number 2, guys. Took a test pan after I filled the first bucket in this same groove. Second test pan, same thing, several decent colors in there. So we'll just go ahead and clean this line out. I'm gonna dig down as far as I can. We have the hand pump, we'll pump that out. But it looks like this line came exactly how I thought it would, where these big stone are at. We have definitely a lot of pockets around here we can play with. Decomposing bedrock. All right, crew. So I went ahead and filled both buckets, but I also filled my little classifier, my little cons bucket. I went ahead and filled that with material too. It kind of goes hand in hand with what I talk about. If you're already doing something, to stop and change direction constantly will burn up a lot more energy than doing the same thing. So you might as well go ahead, if you're shoveling dirt, shovel as much as you can first. Hey, goodbye. And then from there, then you start running material, right? Sit down, relax a minute. Run, dig as much as you can. Do all the digging at one time. Do all the processing at one time. All the sluicing at one time. What burns up a lot of energy is classifying a pan, stopping, panning that out. Hey, goodbye. And then back and forth like that. That's what's killing your energy. I did make a new water box. This actually flows a lot more evenly. I sealed it just so it doesn't have like a lot of losses, but it works pretty simple. But yeah, wanted more laminar flow of water. Some of you guys will know what that means. But there's no mathematical degree of angle and flow rate, water flow rate on paper. It all determines on your feed style, the material you're running too. So sometimes it could be, a good starting point is 7 to 9 degrees, but once you get good enough at knowing how to level your different sluices and high bankers and things like that off, you'll know by the material on what pitch to put it at. And you can do that without having to put an actual level on it. And that's kind of what I do. You're always looking for it to clear in 1 second per foot. So this is about a foot long, a little more than a foot long of a 6-inch sluice, right? It's a little more than a foot long. So after I'm done cascading material in there, 1/1000, it should be clear. That's what you're shooting for. And I'll adjust the flow and the pitch to try to achieve that.
We got a little bit of gold in here, guys. Tiny little bit of color right in that little lip right there. I haven't shut it down yet. I'm gonna continue running. We only did the little 2.5 gallon bucket. Still got these 2 big jammies to go yet. We'll keep running material.
Well, crew, we got all the buckets done here. Going ahead and just letting it run just for a few minutes. Just let it give that extra clear out before I pull the mat out. I will pull it just to check. I don't have to. I could just stop it, get more buckets running again. Keep the cons down real low. We're on the gold. I'll try to see if I can get this on there for you. Let me get out of it.
If you look, there's shotgun pellets right here and right in there, right in the dead center. We got a nice little line of gold showing up there. There's a speck there, pretty decent little chunky right here too. That's right, guys, we are going to pack it in. We got several buckets through the box, which is good.
There's just not that much in there. It's all heavies, all black sand, all heavies, everything else, but there's not that much in there, all things said. Beautifully, very little cons to go home with, which is awesome. Anytime I don't have to come through with a tub full of cons is a good day. Just wasn't enough flow for the fluid bed to set it up in the stream. I'd had to really build something fancy, but yeah. We're gonna start hitting the trails. We got about 10 miles to get trucking out of here, get everything packed in. But yeah, we're looking good. We've moved a lot of material so far, so yeah. But yeah, I love coming out here. It's a trip, you know. It's a trip on a bike, you know. To walk it, there's no way, but on a bike it is. Yeah, we're gonna get to smoking, guys. We'll catch you in the garage. Normally, guys, I would do this on the live stream, the cleanup. There's just, the cons are so, there's just not a lot of cons. It'd be a very short live stream, actually. That V-Ridge just doesn't produce the cons that my other systems do, so I'm just gonna pan it out. We'll do it on video. We'll do the cleanup here on video. I'm not gonna do the whole cleanup on video, but you know, I'll skip around to the points that are more interesting. But I figure I'd just pan it out and then we'll finish it on the bench. As you guys can see, there just isn't a lot of cons there. And I'm gonna roll it down a little bit. I am gonna probably classify this down to kitchen strainer. I have the smaller one. I'll probably go ahead and do that and remove the big stuff from the small stuff. And then we'll start panning it down. Just to get some of the bigger chunkies. Cut that about half. Just gonna do this right into the Falcon pan, actually. You can see the black sand in there. I mean, it's just real chunky. And I'll check this too when I'm done, just to make sure. One of the techniques I do is I'll take it from this point, I'll start rolling it back, and then once I get a little bit down here, I'll stratify this down here. And then I'll dip and lift this down here to check this before dumping it into the cons, leaving all of this up here to go through. Most people would wash that out, but it's always good to check that because you never know if something came down or not. Pretty good right there. Getting down to the final, guys. Getting down to the final. The old snuffer dumpy Rooney. Give you guys just a little peek. That's not terrible.